Hello, everybody, and welcome again back to Procrastinators Pit Stop. Today we have with us Tripp Parks. Tripp is the author of Health Profiling and co-owner of Ascend Performance Training Center, Calvala Lab Supplements, and the podcast Health or High Water. With over 10 years of experience in fitness, including professional football, personal training, nutrition, Tripp is now focused on developing health profiling, a holistic approach to wellness that integrates genetics, nutrition, and fitness. Tripp, welcome to the show.
So much for having me, Chris.
Excellent, excellent. Now, as is tradition on our show, before we dig into it, let's get you a little bit of an icebreaker. So, Tripp, your question is, which cartoon character do you resonate with the most and why?
I'm going to go a little old school with this. Feel a little bit like Dexter from Dexter's Lab. The reason why is I'm trying to use science to get the mission across. Just constantly getting beat down by, big corporations and social media. That'd be the parents and his sister Dee Dee. I feel a little bit like Dexter from Dexter's Labs.
Okay, well, I can understand that. I actually love that show, dating myself a little bit, but yeah, I used to love that show, especially the song, when things go boom in Dexter's Lab.
Forgot about that. Oh, you're right, 100%. That was prime.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite ones. Watching that, so I definitely enjoyed that. All right, let's get into this. So, Tripp, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and sort of how you got to be where you are today?
Fitness when I was 12 years old. My brother's 18 years older than me, and we didn't have a lot in common, so he dragged my butt to the gym. Love with it. By 15 years old, I was writing workout programs for friends and family. I was our unofficial health chair. I ran personal training. I wrote more in-depth program, adding nutrition. I started working in supplementation. I ended up working for my brother. He owned a supplement company. I worked for him. And that's where my idea to start of genetics came from. Genetics, so I decided to open up my own place called the Protein Bar in Leesburg, Virginia. Had a little shake shop in the back, but the whole premise was me trying to sell genetics. And to get my point across, I went to professional football tryouts. And the second professional football tryout, I ended up making it. I played for the rival Professional Football League, which is a smaller league. It's like a developmental football league. And ended up playing there for a season. But real story starts in 2022 when my mom had a stroke, turned dementia. Take care of her. She was incontinent. She couldn't swallow properly. It was pretty bad. So in this journey of taking care of my own mom, to rehab facilities and doctors' offices and all these things, taking her everywhere I needed to take her to try to, help her out. And I was seeing a bunch of other people going through similar issues that were preventable, right? Like cancer, other cardiovascular disease, metabolic diseases. There's got to be something to help fix this, or at least try to solve this epidemic that we have going on. So I got certified in training again. I got certified in nutrition, conditioning, genetic-based program design, started writing my book, Health Profiling. A few months into that, I realized that my dad's concrete job was not going to cut the bills, much longer. She was going to need more attention. I applied everywhere from the Czech Republic to California to find a job. Getting hired by my now business partner, Brett Hutari. He's a longevity recovery specialist for corporate wellness for a little while, and realized that, help by what we could do, because there's so much more than just workouts that we need to do to help people. That's when we really started to build Ascend Performance Training and use the idea of health profiling. Health profiling is we take genetics, blood work, movement screening, history, and proprietary AI. We put all that together into a 360-degree wellness program that's going to tell you exactly how you need to work out, what supplements are for you, how you metabolize them, what foods are best for you, injury risk and prevention, cardiovascular risk, cancer risk, etc. We wanted to rise and individualize wellness, because right now, if you go to 5 different personal trainers, you're getting 5 different results how to fit, and that doesn't fly in most industries. Wanted to, again, individualize and standardize this industry using quantitative measurements like genetics, and about actually what's going on with people instead of this fishnet approach we got going on. I know it's a very long-winded. I'm sorry.
No. Thank you for sharing. It's a very interesting journey, and I'm actually interested in knowing. I mean, in terms of your own personal journey and procrastination, what is it to you, and how do you define it?
Procrastination to me, based. We practice procrastination. We practice those kind of things, and to me, it dream is a dream killer, right? It's a killer because we sit and we wait and we wait. Opportunity doesn't just come to our door. Go find it, and we have to work for it, for opportunity, for those kind of things to happen. Everyone talks about overnight successes, 30 years in the making, right? Right. For me, it's a dream killer. So for procrastination is a habit as well as a dream killer for me.
And have you ever had that an issue with procrastination, and how did you overcome it?
I was probably one of the worst high school students that's ever lived. One of the worst. I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I was doing the wrong things. I wasn't being healthy. I was procrastinating. I never got any homework done. And it put me back, right? All my friends went off to college and I was stuck at home. I took a semester off, and during that semester off, my grandpa was murdered. Beat with a baseball bat at 87 years old. Was, mourning him and going through the process of burying great father. Had a choice. I had a choice. I was, 18 years old. I was a man. I could either completely let this define me and go be depressed, or live up to what my grandfather would have wanted me to do. That Use that trauma as my procrastination killer. And after that, I was taking 19 credits in school. I was waking up early. I was working out more again. I just got my life back together. And that for me, I think we can use those situations, like trauma-based situations, as motivators, right? To kill procrastination. It's like, hey, do I really want to do that? Do I really want to live like this? Because, we have motivation, but the problem with motivation is it needs to turn into discipline or it's absolutely useless.
No, that's very true, and I'm really sorry to hear that. It's not something anyone really wants to go through. Definitely, you've had your share. You've had your share of challenges getting to where you are today. You've had a lot of success. What would you say was your greatest challenge though when you were trying to get to where you are today?
Fundraising, a huge challenge for us. This business is off very underfunded. Very underfunded. We had to be profitable our first month, that we would have closed our doors. That's how low of money we have. I have a $0 budget for marketing. It had to be quick. So for us, fundraising and getting in front of the right people, right? So we had to get like super creative about how we marketed and how we used every single dollar. Went back to like grassroots marketing, door to door, flyers. Cast really helped us out bringing people in. Be really creative. I guess not fundraising, it's just finances. A whole.
No, that makes sense. But I mean, it didn't stop you from pursuing your passion or your dream. So, do you think that? So, what would you say to any entrepreneur out there who's maybe looking at a shoestring type budget, and they're looking down that sort of same barrel? What would you say to them?
Marketing budget. Utilize all these free tools that we have. Blogs, podcast is relatively cheap, right? Headphones and a computer, pretty much, and a computer. I searching online for networking events in the area is a super big deal. And writing a book to put out is relatively cheap. You don't need to go to the library anymore to do research and buy books. You can find everything online, as well as like utilizing these just normal grassroots, right? Things that our grandfathers did, going door to door to businesses and trying to make connections. Hey, listen, like I love to have flyers of this bike shop in my personal training studio. If you guys are looking for people to train, you know what I mean? Is making those kind of connections. That's free, right? You spend a little money in gas to get to these places, but you get to a dense area with good businesses. You walk around for a day, you're going to make something happen. So utilizing these free things that we already have is huge. And it doesn't matter if you have $0. And if you have a dream, if you have a good idea that solves problems, do it. Don't wait another day to do it. Just start right now.
No, exactly. why delay? Any action is better than no action, right? So always consistent action forward. Just to touch a little bit on the book. They always like to say, writing a book is 95% procrastination and 5% actual work. How true is that for you?
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true, right? I think especially when you're writing your first book, you think that it's supposed to, you're supposed to be inspired all the time to write. I and that was me when I started writing. I didn't even know I was writing a book at first. I started writing like a really long blog post, and that started, page after page started coming, and I was like, I'm just gonna write a book. Screw it. Uh, what I was, I would procrastinate because I was waiting for these like epiphanies to come. That really wasn't the case. What I would do is if I didn't have an idea, I would go through my outline. I would search on AI, search online. What I could do to find, hey, listen, what can I learn more about one of these sections? Hey, I want to learn more about genetics. Go and teach myself something, and that would usually inspire me to write something in the book. Kind of do a little backwards. Instead of like waiting for the inspiration, I'd go to try to learn, and that would inspire me. He is now. So if anyone's trying to write a book, and procrastinating, I'd go do your research, right? Like class, go online, a buddy that's in the industry. Me, that really expedited the book when I started doing that.
No, yeah, that's excellent, and it's very true. A lot of times we want to wait for that spark, but sometimes it just doesn't come. And so I did want to get into a little bit about just the genetic side of things, because I know that many of us procrastinate going to the gym simply because, and honestly, I have heard this used to, have heard this used as an excuse. Not that I used it. Maybe I have, but they say that some people are more genetically inclined to develop muscle, or genetically inclined to lose weight faster. And so, some people just say, oh, well, my genetics is, we're big bone. So, we don't really hit the gym. Is there any sort of real truth to that? Or is there just a different way to kind of approach it?
There's 100% truth to that. Little thing about us than the person next to us. Even brother and sister, they might look the same, but genetically inside they could have differences. Kind of start explaining this is to understand what of health is. What I mean is right now, majority of America uses the scale as a measurement of health. The scale, when we look at the weight, really matters is the body composition. How much is that fat? How much is that muscle? Am I getting blood work done and finding out if I'm healthy on the inside? Is my liver levels good? Is my kidney levels good? Because we all are different, shape might look different than everybody else, right? Some of us might be a little bit bigger than somebody else because I'm going to give you a good example. Fat loss. See a lot of white European descent women getting our genetic tests done that they have a fat burning variant missing, a fat burning allele, an indicator of things or how we were made, that they could do 7 hours worth of cardio and not burn the same amount of fat as someone who does have this fat burning variant. So what that means is that cardio is not going to be the best way for this person to lose fat. It's going to be circuit-based training, like HIIT style. Hey, I'm going to go do a workout here real quick, and right after I'm going to hit this next one. So even the way we work out needs to be different on how we do things. I mean, diets are all different. Based off of like a seafaring, like Portugal or France or those kind of things, you're going to probably need more seafood. Minerals and vitamins that come from seafood. This universal idea of hey, like try this workout program or try this diet is asinine because everybody's different. So we really have to redefine a perspective of that, right? Is hey, like I should not be eating the same things as you. I should not be taking the same supplements as you. Know quantitatively through science what's going to work for me. Genetically, we're all so different. I think we're not even celebrating it, though. You know what I mean? That's what makes the human experience amazing, is that we're all different. we're not using it to our advantage. So I know it's very long-winded, but yes, genetics affect every little bit of who we are and how we do things. You can even get into epigenetics, which is our environment, right? I'm in a smoky bar for 20 years. Epigenetically, a higher risk for lung cancer. Getting those, and when you start getting your environmental factors in too, now we can really dial in what's going on. Getting your blood work done. Hey, listen, like I found out your genetic test that you don't metabolize vitamin D very well. Your blood work, that even though you do take vitamin D, it's not at an optimal level. You might have to take more than somebody else. Where do I get my vitamin D from? If they've got a high risk for basal cell skin cancer, I'm not going to tell them to go get their vitamin D in the sun. It's where and how we ingest it too. So there's all these like detailed factors that go into who we are, and these wellness programs that we create answer those questions.
So, what does a typical intake for you kind of look like then?
Take a lot of forms, the questions. What are your goals? Your goals and my goals are going to be different, right? If some of us want to lose fat, some of us want to gain muscle, some of us are training for a sport or a hobby. So things versus us understanding you as a person. Do you have any injuries? If they bother you? How's your sleep? So those questions. And then we get to the genetic portion of you got to spit into a tube. We have a partner, Gene Planet, that works with us. The geneticist over there. It overseas because of privacy policy reasons. I'm not sure if you heard about 23andMe and Ancestry.com selling a bunch of genetic information this past year. Privacy policy for us is huge. We think that as a company, that your genetic information should be covered by like HIPAA or US, policy. It is. Not only do they have great genetic tests and great abilities, but the privacy policy is huge. But over there, it takes about 6 weeks to get the genetic test done, results back in your program. But the cool part about our genetic test is we do whole genome sequencing. So we know about 4% of the whole human genome, and we can do a lot with that 4%. But this test will automatically update every time a new allele or indicator is found. So if, hey, listen, your ability to process sugar comes up, it'll automatically update your profile. Awesome. That genetic information, the process of you get that 6 weeks, we have you go get your blood work done. Get the blood work sent to us. We send you a very detailed family and medical history of, hey, listen, does your grandpa have cancer? Those kind of things. And put all that information proprietarily into an AI system that comes up with your workout. So that from start to So from start to finish, it's about six weeks and about 3 days to get the program. But that's about it. That's about intake and process. I know I don't think you asked that. I'm sorry. I just kind of went off.
No. It's very interesting too, and especially I'm interested in that the test automatically updates, but that doesn't require you to spit in the tube again.
They only need a little bit. They can recycle, or they not reuse, but they can take just a little bit of your saliva and rerun it if they need to.
Okay, and that's just done automatically, so that there's no like additional cost to that or anything. Well, that sounds pretty good.
Once you get that test done, they automatically update it.
Wow, sounds interesting. What would you say is your kind of ideal person to work with?
Originally, we thought it was going to be kids. That was like the big, when we opened this up, it was like, hey, let's like figure out what's going on with kids, parents, what's the future of their kids, being sick or what have you. But the past like 6-7 months, we found out want to work with us is 55 and older, that their parents are sick, taking good care of themselves. They've tried X amount of different diets and workouts, and they're frustrated. And those are the people that typically want to work with us, right? Like, hey, listen, I'm interested in trying something new. I've tried everything else. I really want to know what's going on with me because I see what's happening to my parents, and I want to end up like that. You're hearing a lot less of people doing, hey, I want beach body workouts, 6-week programs. You're hearing a lot more people come in and saying, I want to be able to move right, and I don't want to hurt. I think that's all we can ask for as we age, is we don't need to look like Sylvester Stallone and Rambo. Like we just need to be healthy so we can be there for our loved ones.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they had a couple of joke reels on Facebook and Instagram about this, but you know, it's true. They showed a woman going to the gym, and it's just about picking up the groceries, or being able to lift your arms over your head to take a tub of ice cream out of the freezer. But that's a very good goal for everybody, and we do talk about longevity, and we want to be able to be there for our loved ones. That is very true. What would you say is the favorite part of what you do?
Two favorite parts. When I do the genetic consult with people, we get the genetic test back, going through something like high risk for ACL and MCL ruptures. And next thing you know, they're like, I MCL like 3 times in high school. That aha moment of, they're like, I was predisposed for this. It wasn't like I did anything wrong. I didn't know this was going to happen. As well as when out with someone, it doesn't matter their age, working out with someone, and they accomplish a new milestone. Like they deadlifted 200 pounds. They sat up for the first time without being in pain. Those are my absolute favorite moments, is that smile, because it's so genuine.
Yeah, that's great. And everything that you just said is it's very great information, and but also I can see how it could be very intimidating to try and get there, and very very overwhelming. Um, just to our listeners, do you think again, there's no silver bullet. We've already established that, but is there anywhere that anybody who's really kind of concerned about their health, or they're not even concerned, they just want to take care of themselves better? Is there any sort of real like starting point that they could take?
My advice for that, the best starting point is talk to a professional, right? This lone wolf BS. Find a professional you can work with that's near you. They're doing right. It doesn't have to be me. It just someone to work with because the likelihood of your success goes drastically up. On a program, you have accountability. For me, that's so important. I think a lot of us try to social media and sources and try to do things on our own, and then we get hurt. I hell loop, right? We get motivated. We start a new workout program or diet, and it goes great for the first week. We feel good. Second week, it starts getting a little hard because life is happening. And then next thing you know, by week 3, we just give up on it. Like we missed one day, and they're like, well, all right, screw it. I'm out. It's not working for us, right? Hey, like I can't fit this in my life. I'm going to regress back to what I'm doing. And then next thing you know, you got to wait for that next moment of motivation. Then the hell loop starts again. The only way to break that loop, yourself organizing on a program, and the best place to find that is a health professional who knows what they're doing, that'll put you on a program that's going to keep you accountable.
That's good. So we're looking at basically 3 steps: get a professional, get an accountability partner, or I guess if you can't get a partner, get an accountability app, and then just stay off social media, because eating Tide Pods is not helping.
not at all. I think the big thing is getting on a program, right? Like finding a professional and getting on a program. Hey, listen, morning at 6:00, I get up, I have a glass of water, my breakfast by 6:45, and I'm out the door. We are creatures of habit, and if we can put ourselves in a good place for a habit and a program, then again, the likelihood of our success goes up. So finding a professional and getting on a program, whether that's an app, an accountability buddy, that's something that you can keep track of, as well as going to push you forward.
Gotcha. Actually, I did want to touch on that as well, in terms of just what came up with accountability apps. In terms of AI and artificial intelligence, how has that kind of transformed your business?
On the business side, it's a lot more efficient with time. You can do so much more now. Those emails that took us 30 minutes to craft, checking grammar, doing those kind of things, now takes us 2.5 minutes. Business side, it's an amazing tool. We as a crutch, right? We still do our work and do our research, what have you. It's a great tool on that side. But on the health side, it's everything. I can put all this data in, like, hey, listen, you got a high risk for injury. I'm finding out from your movement screening, your gait analysis is off. AI can take all these factors in and help us come up with an actual number. Like, hey, listen, your risk is this percent, and this is what we need to do. The programs I used to do by hand took me forever. Alleles, researching the alleles and what they do, and then writing throughout the program. But now I can add all this data in together that does affect each other. Your work does affect your genetics, because now we're finding out what's going on with you on the inside and outside. So completely revolutionize the way we do things.
No, yeah, that sounds great. So when you do this information and you give this information to, do you have like an application, or does it just like an email report? How do you disseminate this information?
Still in handwriting things out. We have our own, like, you get like a 35-page book of what's going to work for you. In the process right now of creating an app, everything just feeds into it, and work day pops right up. It's a while, and I wanted to wait on that, to be honest, because I wanted to get some data from these tests before we started getting into an app phase of it, because that's where this company's headed, really, on that side, is just become a technology company. Hey, let's say military applications, soldier's going to get this app, and they'll get the genetics done, they get their blood work done, everything's inputted here. Hey, listen, soldier A should not go be stationed in Hawaii because of the high risk for skin cancer. This soldier B over here should not be doing heavy squats because they're risk for ACL and those kind of things. It's just I kind of don't know where I was going to go with that after that. I lost train of thought, but
No. It's interesting, and it actually just brought up something very interesting. You said the military, but I mean just applications in general. This person who works construction maybe they shouldn't work construction because they're predisposed to, like you said, or maybe we shouldn't be sitting in a chair 10 hours a day because our metabolism's low or something, right? So I could see that it could have a lot of applications. But on the other side of that, it seems interesting. Maybe like if somebody really wants to be a firefighter in Hawaii, but they get this genetic thing out. I mean, at the same time, they can say, well, it's not that we're going to say you shouldn't do that, but we're going to say, okay, you're going to go out with SPF like 300 or something, and just don't get a lot of sun. Take the night shift, you'll be fine. That sort of thing. No, but yeah, I think this is a really great idea, and I would look forward to seeing something like that hit the market, because even in terms of like procrastination and choosing just the mundane things too, like get your diet in check, get your sleep cycles, get your confirmation for different things. I can see a very bright future for that. Speaking of, where would you see you're obviously making lots of great progress. Where would you see yourself, say, in the next year?
Say it's me applying some of these, these businesses of, especially like companies like here in America, right? To work with insurance companies and figuring out what's going on with someone ahead of time, possibly saving someone's life, and figuring out, hey, listen, these are the risks and this is what you need to do. And B, saving the insurance company. Like, you're going to pay less premiums if we know it's going to happen down the road, and put the right options in place. Hey, listen, let's have you see a doctor, an oncologist, because you have a high risk for skin cancer. Ask it to save them money, and C, that make insurance more competitive, right? It's going to be like, hey, listen, I'm healthy, I'm going to get a better rate than someone who's not. Have insurance where it's rated good and bad drivers, right? Hey, I'm a great driver, I'm getting great rates. I'm a bad driver, get bad rates. The way the system should go, it's not like that right now. As well as, work with senior homes. We do boxing classes in senior homes right now for Parkinson's, but I love to individualize wellness for them. Actually have like a wellness community in there. Hey, listen, I want to build muscle. I've got a strength and conditioning class here. I work with a personal trainer, and this is my nutrition, and have them talking about this stuff, have lectures and discussions about health with them. Working with seniors, like individualizing, that's for us is taking care of our loved ones. So those are the two things I love to do next year, as well as I like to finish my second book. So those 3 things.
Well, certainly a lot of things there. And don't be procrastinating on the second book. I'm going to be checking up on you. I'm going to be waiting to see that second book come out. I'm going to hold you to that. 1 year, you heard it here. He's going to be releasing the second book. You heard that.
1 year from today, it'll be out.
1 year from today. All right, October 3rd. Mark your calendars, people. Well, we are coming up pretty close to the time here, Tripp, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Is there anything that maybe I didn't ask that you feel I maybe should have asked, or anything that we didn't cover that maybe you feel we should have covered?
I always like to try to end with podcast is too late. There's someone sitting here listening right now. It's like, well, nope, I'm 55 years old. I smoke. For me, I can't get my stuff together. It's a little motivation for those kind of people. Time to do it now is insurmountable, because when something happens to you, like a stroke or cancer, wish at that moment you would have changed things. Because that gym membership might seem expensive, but wait for that medical bill to hit, because it's not if something's going to happen if you're not taking care of yourself, it's when. If we don't take care of our car, it falls apart. We are no different. So it's never too late to get started today.
I like that. And you heard it here on Procrastination Station. It's never too late, but you got to start today, not tomorrow. Not next week, not when you feel like it. It's today. Right. Well, just one last thing before we go here, then, Tripp. How can our members reach out to you if they have questions, or maybe they want to get their own tests done and get on the program?
This pretty much any social media app, Ascend Performance Training. Send me an email, Tripp, ascendpt@gmail.com. We also have our podcast that has links to us. On social media, Brett and I. Brett, send me an email. Find us on our website. Yes, we're all over the place.
Excellent. And don't worry about writing all that down, folks. As always, we would like to make things as easy as possible, so we will put that all in the show notes. And once again, Tripp, just thank you so much for being on the show. It was a real pleasure. To our listeners, thanks for listening. And just, remember, if you can't find inspiration or motivation today, maybe just be that motivation or inspiration for someone else. And I will see you again next time.